All right, so the New York Mets finish off their series on a high note, defeating the Washington Nationals in the finale. I have a bunch of notifications on the computer, of course, but they win the finale 4-0, and the storyline has got to be the nothing part on the Washington Nationals, and that is due to what's up, Z? You're the first one in here. That's what's up. But a lot of that has to do with Jupiter, aka Mars Gaming. But I am happy to see that Taiwan Walker pitched very well, going 7 innings, giving up no runs. Got helped out by some defense, particularly Abadal Mora. What's up, Mothman? What's up, Hydra? What's up, Unslap? What is up, everybody? LGM. I'm glad that we were able to get a series victory because, DeGrom pitched amazing Friday. That was just DeGrom day. DeGrom did everything, running the bases, getting hits. Then Saturday had a disappointing game, but today the Mets were really able to come out and get that victory. They get the off day tomorrow. Braves lost the first game of their doubleheader today. Obviously, you beat the Nationals, so you gain a game on them as well. And this division, obviously, is still early, but it still is very tight. So anytime you can win those head-to-head matchups, win those series, that's what's going to get you there because winning the division has got to be a top priority because you could say, oh, well, this Mets team has plenty of talent. They still can make the wild card. That's fine and all, but you don't want to take that chance. You really, really want to try to get that division underway. It was a grind. Oh, yeah. Listen, this wasn't an easy game by any means. I cut my finger earlier after freaking the umpire robbed Nimmo of ball 4, and I hit the wall. I said I thought Pete was over for a season. I was wrong. Listen, Pete has crazy power. His average, it may go up, it may go down, but by the time the season is over, Alonso will have close to 40 home runs. This guy, like you see it, once he hits that ball, good things are going to happen for the Mets. So, he's going to have a good year, and I'm definitely glad he's a part of this team. That was a nice home run. Maybe it could have been a grand slam had Nimmo got that call, but we'll never know. Yeah, around 92, that's a good ballpark, Mars. What the thing about this New York Mets team is that there is so much potential. Like, you could see them winning 95, but you also could see them win 90 because you'll see them have an ugly game on Saturday or have an ugly game on Wednesday, but then they'll give you a good game Friday. They'll give you a good game Sunday. So you can see that this team can play well. It's not impossible. Just doesn't always happen that way. And you're not going to win them all, but, we have seen some pretty ugly games. Wednesday's game was unacceptable. You're happy Castro got unscathed. He's good at getting out of jams. Breakout season, however, is a little stress watching him pitch. That's what happens with guys like Castro, guys like Diaz, these guys that have that great movement. Sometimes the hitters swing, and when the hitters don't, it's going to turn into bad hitter counts. It's going to turn into walks. What are my thoughts on Jeff McNeil? He's still struggling. You know what? He struggled in spring training, and now he's struggled as they're carried over to the regular season. That's not what you want from Jeff because he is such a good, pure, talented hitter that you think that no matter what, every year Jeff McNeil is going to hit for 300 or better, which he has done for his career. But now we're going on 2 months of struggling. He really has got to break out of it soon. The good thing about Jeff McNeil is that he still is putting the ball in play. He's not striking out, which is something that McNeil doesn't do anyway. But it's good to see that he is putting the ball in play. He just keeps hitting it right at fielders. And what I've seen a lot from this team is that these guys are struggling with the outside pitch, whether it is Conforto, whether it's Lindor, whether it's McNeil, Dom Smith. A lot of times on that outside corner, these left-handers, they're pulling the ball and just hitting it to the right side. So that's why you're seeing so many double plays. Lindor, I feel like at least 70% of his outs are ground outs to the right side. Every time it's a pitch on the outside corner, these guys keep doing that. So, I hope that they could figure out that philosophy. I had thought that Chili Davis was more of a, preach the opposite field approach to these hitters, but, that hasn't been the case. Mothman Dom. Yeah, Dom has not been great. Like, he's had nice moments here and there. He's had a couple home runs, some good hits, but for the most part, I do feel like Dom is capable of more. We saw him have a really good 2020, but obviously, it still is pretty early. We're still the first month of the season, but we're getting to the end. So you do want to see these guys start breaking out. it has to happen eventually. This lineup is too talented, on a day-to-day basis to have some outings like yesterday. We only had the one run. That really can't happen. James Mccann is great at making games reachable. Mccann has been by far the greatest disappointment. I want him gone by the deadline. Well, James McCann's not going anywhere. No team is going to take the 4-year, $40 million contract. I don't think James Mccann has been as bad as some people say. I think that when you look at what else was available on the free agent market, You're not getting Lindor and Realmuto. I mean, Realmuto might have not wanted him to come here in the first place, and I think that James McCann, he's better than Wilson Ramos. His arm it's pretty good. He's caught a lot of runners, which is something that the Mets have not been able to do in the past. His glove hasn't been tremendous. And his bat, it comes and goes. I mean, he did get an RBI hit today with a runner in scoring position, something that you cannot take for granted, especially with this team. I mean, this has to be one of the worst teams in all of baseball when it comes to guys with runners in scoring position. James McCann is not worth what he's getting paid arm-wise. You're getting great offensively. He sucks. All right, so, I mean, James McCann, this is his first month with a member of the Mets, and you guys already want him gone. I mean, let's give him the 4 years before we decide, that the James McCann signing wasn't worth it. I mean, if James McCann has a great May and a great June, I mean, do we still want him gone? I mean, I would like to at least give him a chance before I say it. And I think his framing is not that bad. I mean, Tomas Nido is a good defensive catcher. Don't get me wrong. But I think that when it comes to the National League, you will like to get a little bit of offense out of the catcher because you have the pitcher batting ninth. And with the catcher batting eighth, do you want 2 automatic outs? Your number 7 hitter gets on, and then boom, it's 2 outs. Or if he gets on with 1 out, inning over. If you have 8-9-1, 2 outs, and the guy batting first is up. So you put yourself in a lot of bad situations if that happened. Not gone, just he hasn't been great so far. Okay, I mean, listen, a lot of guys have not been great this month. I mean, is Conforto playing well? Did you guys want Conforto on this team? I mean, a lot of guys are having a bad month of April. James McCann is not the only guy. And Tyler Flowers is better than him defensively, but Z, answer me this. Why is Tyler Flowers on no team right now? I mean, why does nobody want Tyler Flowers if he's just such this amazing, godly defender? Nobody wants him. And if catching is such an important position where you need defense, why does not a single team want Tyler Flowers, even to be a backup? Nobody wants him. So, I mean, I don't want to overreact to analytics or what, the stat sheets say. I mean, Jason McCann is also trying to do, the mental things of trying to help these pitchers out, come to the mound and say to these guys, okay, this is what we need to do to get you going. When Miguel Castro was struggling and Jason McCann had to come out there, help him get out of the jam, those little things, they don't show up in the framing. They don't show up in the stat sheet. So, I mean, McCann does do some little things for this team that does help them out. And again, by the time 4 years comes around, we'll see how it works out. I mean, I hope that once, maybe like 3 years, when Francisco Alvarez comes up maybe to be the backup, Jason McCann could just kind of mentor Alvarez and just teach him a couple things about catching. So, I mean, that's what it's all about. You rather have him than Ramos. That's the point. See, that's what they were going for. It was clear that the Mets needed to make an upgrade at catcher. You needed somebody other than Wilson Ramos, despite the home runs that he hit, to start off the year. His batting average has not been great. We know his defense is bad, only going to get worse. McCann has been an improvement. Again, the catching free agent market, if Realmuto wasn't going to come here anyway, there wasn't anything else you could do. If you made Tomas Nido the full-time catcher, you could do that, but then who's going to be your backup? Is it going to be Rene Rivera, or is it going to be, Patrick Mazeika? Would you have kept Ali Sanchez? I mean, that's something that you have got to ask yourself. McCann was an all-star in 2019, so that still could happen. If any guy that has been on an all-star team so recently, I feel like he's worth a chance. We've seen McCann as his career has gone along, he has improved. So we'll see. But you know what? And the hindsight is always 20/20. I mean, listen, so far Lindor, he's been off to a slow start. Maybe you want to give him the extension at the end of the year. That's fine and all. But I just think that, let's not go crazy April 25th. Once the season is over, once next season is over, then we could, really talk about James McCann. Great game. Super glad the bats woke up. What's up, Hayden? How's it going, my man? Like Alonso in the second or third spot. Also performance by Walker. Guess that many jams. Yeah, Pete Hiram, the order was pretty interesting. I liked it too because it made Nimmo all the more dangerous because I felt that when the bases were loaded in that at-bat against Patrick Corbin, and it was a 3-ball count, I really thought Nimmo was going to get a pitch to hit because I'm like, you do not want to walk Brandon Nimmo and have to face Pete Alonso. And you're going to need a really good pitch because Brandon Nimmo's probably going to take it. You can't just throw it in the dirt. So it definitely creates some things. Maybe that's something that the Mets do a little more frequently when they are facing left-handed pitchers. They have only faced a few. I think this was their 3rd time facing a lefty starter. So they are going to shake up the lineup. I mean, as far as how that worked out, offensively, it didn't do great. Like you had Al Moore start. He made that great play in the game, robbing Kyle Schwarber, but he didn't do anything offensively. VR got 1 hit. So, they tried to do a couple little things to shake up the lineup. It didn't work out all that well. I mean, J.D. Davis just has amazing career numbers against Patrick Corbin. That continued today. So, but at least they won the game. That's the thing that matters the most. Can we talk Walker? It didn't seem like he reached innings. I agree, Brain Man. Listen, when Kyle Schwarber was at the plate, I tweeted, I said, bring in Loop, because Walker's command was starting to get a little out of whack. He had just hit Trey Turner. He had walked Yadiel Hernandez for the second time of the game. And I was like, all right, we probably got to take him out right about now. You have the lefty up. You have the lefty warming up. Now is the time to use him. They left Schwarber out there. He hits a bomb to straightaway center field. I was like, oh, my gosh, there's going to be a 3-run homer. Amore made the catch, and I was like, all right, at least we got out of it. You probably could take out Walker now. No, he ends up pitching a great 7th inning, which is huge. The fact that you were able to go Walker for 7, Castro 8, Diaz 9, ball game over, it's great. So to get to your question, Mars, what do I think about the bullpen? It is mixed results. You know what I mean? Like Castro's been good. Diaz has been good for the most part. Familia's been good for the most part. Things like Trevor May, it's been up and down. Barnes and Tarpley and these guys, they've been up and down. Sean Foley was amazing the other night. I loved what I saw. I think Hildenberger could be a really good impact guy on this team. But, of course, the dummy manager made him throw 40 pitches and had to send him down. But I think that the bullpen, once Drew Smith gets called up, once that Lugo is ready, the bullpen should be okay. Like your point, Z. I was like, Davis batting cleanup. He has great numbers against Corbin. Yeah, that was the thing. Like, at first, I was like, really? We're batting JD cleanup? I guess it's a lefty, whatever. But I was like, oh, my gosh, that's right. They're facing Patrick Corbin. And we know JD Davis, in his first season as a member of the New York Mets, going up against Patrick Corbin, hit 2 home runs at Citi Field. So, I mean, he made it happen against it, hitting a big home run. He got a couple other hits in this game. One was not against Corbin, but just a really solid game for JD Davis. And his bat has been great this year. He's batting .414, has 45 on base percentage. Definitely a small sample size because he missed the 10 days after getting hit by that pitch. But JD Davis has been swinging a very good bat. His defense has been better the past couple of days. When he had that bad defensive series in Chicago, I'm hoping he could put that behind him and he could be an impact player for this team. I think that no matter what, whether you have Davis or Guillorme out there, you will be pretty good. And, yeah, I don't think McWilliams is ready yet. It's going to come down to control. But McWilliams has the ability because somebody like Miguel Castro, he struggled so much with his command, throughout his short career. And now that Castro's command is getting better, he's able to just keep himself in more at-bats to strike these guys out, not walk the ballpark. Once McWilliams could do that, he could be an impact kind of player. But it all comes down to the command with these pitchers that have such great movement. Sometimes it goes in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. I think with Marcus Stroman yesterday, his break was just a little too much. You saw Marcus Stroman missing his spots, led to too many walks. That's one of the things that he had been doing really well this season so far. In Stroman's first few starts, he had only walked like 2 or 3 batters. Then yesterday, you saw him walk a good amount of guys. So I don't think that Sam McWilliams is ready quite yet. Maybe he'll be up at some point this season. I hope not. I hope that these other guys that are on this team could be good enough to where we don't really need to call him McWilliams, that, Familia will get the job done. Gesellman pitched really, really good yesterday. That's somebody I didn't mention. I mean, before that, Gesellman's been a little consistent. He had the good game against Colorado, bad game against Chicago. And those are things that are going to happen throughout the course of the regular season with the bullpen. The guy is not going to get it done every single time. You just hope that when it comes to this bullpen, the good outings outweigh the bad outings. That's what it all comes down to. But Walker going 7 innings was big because Marcus Stroman did not go deep into the game. And we saw David Pearson. He couldn't go deep into the game on Wednesday after, the bad throws that J.D. Davis made, things like that. Lucchesi has not been able to go deep into a game quite yet. So the Mets have had to really tire out their bullpen. That's why Gesellman had to throw so many innings yesterday. That's why Sean Reed-Foley had to pitch a bunch of innings on Thursday. So, again, having your starting pitcher go deep into games, that's big. DeGrom going 9 on Friday, that was huge to have a rested bullpen because you needed it on Saturday when we saw Marcus Stroman. Will we have McWilliams next year? I want him here for the future. I think so. I think Sam McWilliams' deal is a multi-year deal. Who do I think will replace Lucchesi in rotation? I imagine it's going to be Carlos Carrasco. And Sean Foley, maybe he could, but I'm thinking it's going to be Carrasco because since the Mets have the off day tomorrow and they have the off day on Thursday, they're not going to need the 5th starter for a little bit. So you're hoping that by the time the 5th starter spot is up again, that you could just go to Carlos Carrasco because Carlos Carrasco, they said, could be back 2nd week in May. So it's going to be pretty close. Maybe someone else could make a start in between then, but I'm hoping that it could be Carlos Carrasco, who could be the guy that replaces Joey Lucchesi in the rotation. But what I don't like is the fact that we saw Luke Casey get sent down for Stephen Tarpley to come up. And Stephen Tarpley looked awful yesterday. I don't think he belongs on this team, to be quite honest with you. He has not been great in the major leagues. He had a good spring training for the most part. Then it kind of tailed off towards the end. And, I mean, yesterday was just a disaster. So I don't want Tarpley on this team. I want Hildenberger. And, once Drew Smith comes up, that'd be great. Maybe we could get Vizcaino up here at some point. Is Lucchesi going to come back for a pen? He might. I mean, we'll see. He definitely could. Like, I think Lucchesi could be a valuable piece in the bullpen, maybe as a second lefty, as a guy that can go multiple innings. He does throw that really nice chirp. So I would like to see him be in the bullpen at some point. But, it's so early in the season. We're going to see so many different arms come up and come down. So, I mean, who knows how many different arms we're going to see. I mean, there might be some guys that get called up. They were like, what are they doing here? I mean, could you call up Jordan Yamamoto at some point? That'd be nice. So far, he pitched well in the spring training and things like that. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, Stephen Tarpley should be in the minors. I agree. I mean, it just isn't the spot for him. And it sounds like Drew Smith could be back really, really soon. That's what Anthony DiComo has been saying. So I hope that is the case, that Drew Smith could be back pretty soon. And let's see what he could do. I'm not as high on him as some other people are, but I'm willing to give him a chance. I'll give him a chance. If he stinks, I'll say he stinks. If he's good, I'll say he's good. That's what we do on Frank About Sports. We are frank about it. I try to give the honest take. I'm not going to pull any punches. I just say what I'm feeling, and it's sometimes it's hard because, like we talked about earlier with Mccann, these guys, I want to rip them. I want to say, they're playing like crap. And I'm trying to give them a chance. I really, really am, because it's so early, and who knows, if by the end of the season the guys have close to 300 average, we'll say, okay, that player had a good year. But you never know. I mean, that's I hate to say law of averages, but that's what happens. You have your hot streaks, you have your cold streaks. That happens with all these hitters. And I think it needs to happen soon. I mean, you don't want to go a whole month with most of your lineup going cold, other than Brandon Nimmo and J.D. Davis. Other than that, nobody's really had a great start to the season offensively. I mean, Luis Guillorme's been pretty good in his games that he's gotten to play, which is not enough, in my opinion. I don't think that J.D. Davis could start the games that Marcus Stroman pitches. I thought that was a mistake on Luis Ross's part. Didn't end up hurting him, but it could have, like the way it hurt David Pearson on Wednesday. And we'll see what happens. Like when David Pearson pitches on Tuesday against Boston, do you start J.D. Davis or do you start Luis Guillorme? Because J.D. Davis screwed David Pearson last time with his botches at third base. So I would like to have Guillorme out there, because the thing is that if you screwed DeGrom in the field, like the way Brandon Nimmo was not able to make that diving catch on Friday, and I'm not mad at Nimmo or anything, but if you make a mistake defensively and DeGrom is on the mound, DeGrom could get out of it. He could just strike out the batter and say, all right, no, don't worry about it. We'll get out of it. David Pearson is a guy that if you make mistakes, I don't think David Pearson is as good as a pitcher as DeGrom, to where he could just, switch it on and just get out of it. Because if you make one or two mistakes for David Peterson, he could blow up, and then that's it. That's game over. And that's exactly what happened. So I don't think you really could take those risks with a young pitcher like David Pearson. I want to give him my best defensive lineup. And Luis Guillorme is no slouch with the bat. I mean, he's been swinging a good bat last year. He's been swinging a good bat this year. So I just want him to have a good defensive lineup out there for David Pearson. That'd be something encouraging to me. And it's going to be an interesting series against the Boston Red Sox, because Boston has gone up to a really good start this season. They're first place in the American League East. They won today against the Seattle Mariners. And Boston, their offense has been great this year. So the New York Mets, if they're going to be going up against this Red Sox team with good offense, you're going to, and this rotation for the most part has been very, very good. So you're going to need that. And Boston not having the DH, J.D. Martinez had a huge impact for them this year. He leads the American League in home runs. So if you could, are they still going to play J.D. Martinez, take the risk of having them out there in left field? That's going to be an interesting decision for Cora and the Red Sox. But I just think that when you're facing a tough lineup like that, you're going to need good defense out there for David Pearson. I mean, David Pearson, he faced the Red Sox last year. He pitched well. That was his first career start. It was at Fenway Park, but we'll see. Do we start Almora again on Tuesday? I don't think so, Z. I feel like that was more of the Mets were facing a lefty, so they try to get as many right-handed bats out there as possible. So I think that since we're going to be facing Garrett Richards, he's right-handed, I feel like they're going to go back to the, Nimmo, Dom Smith, Mcneil, the normal combination. I mean, again, the Mets were just trying to go as right-handed as possible. That's why you saw Almora, you saw VR over Mcneil. J.D. Davis made the start over Guillorme. So the Mets had as many right-handed bats as possible. So I don't think we're going to see Almora again on Tuesday. But I think it's something to consider. If Walker is indeed a fly ball pitcher, maybe you do want to start Almar with him. I'm not sure quite yet. I haven't seen Taijuan Walker pitch enough to really say, these are the guys that should play when Walker's on the mound. Does Nimmo make that catch since he plays deeper? I'm not sure. It's such a hypothetical. I'm just glad Almar made the catch. Thank God, because that could have been a really, really, really big turning point in the game. So that definitely was huge. But, definitely was a solid win again. Nice to win the series. Before Mars said, I think Mets could go get another bullpen arm. It could be useful. Yeah, by the time the deadline rolls around, some of these teams that are not doing well, if they're looking to trade off some salary or try to, take advantage of a reliever having a good year, because that's going to happen. There are going to be some relievers that most of us probably haven't heard of before that are having a good season, and, the teams are trying to capitalize off that because we know the next year that reliever might not be very good. So if the Mets are having some struggles in the bullpen or if they are having some injuries, they could do that. Gesellman hasn't been as bad as Tony said he would. Yeah, he has. He had the bad outing on Wednesday, but he definitely pitched very good yesterday. That was good to see. Hayden, that was an amazing catch. I was at work and watching it on my phone and yelled, hell yeah. My boss gave me a look. Hayden, you were watching the game at work? Oh, my gosh. That must be tough for you because you react so passionately. That must be tough. Oh, my gosh. Hayden, have you been at work when the Mets lost it and you want to, give the hat a throw or move the chair around a little bit? That definitely would be quite an experience. Hayden, that would have been some good content right there. If you could, do a live stream while you're at work watching the Mets game. But that's what's up, man. I'll tell you what, when Almora jumped up, I was like, oh my God, he's jumping. And he caught it. I was like, oh my God. Let's just say I bit my mask. I can't yell. All right, that makes sense. If they didn't know you were watching the game, they're probably like, this dude's crazy. He's just kind of sitting in a corner just going, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been pretty interesting for sure. I want to see Haynes' reaction at work. So I agree, Z. Make it happen, Hayden. That's some good YouTube content right there. Sharmy Foley could be a good bullpen arm and maybe good in the rotation if he gets a chance. I want to see Reed Foley in the bullpen. I think that since they sent Lucchesi down, Gesellman, they used him in a role on Wednesday where they had him come in the fourth inning to get the out, but not use him as the long man. Like Sean Foley proved, it was one outing, but he proved that he can give you multiple innings. So I would like to see Sean Foley as the long man in this bullpen because when the pitcher does have a bad outing and you need someone to give you multiple innings, you don't want to tire out your bullpen in a loss, in a game where you're getting blown out. You don't want to tire out your entire bullpen. The fact that Miguel Castro threw 20 pitches on the game, the Mets lost 16-4, that can happen. So you got to have a long reliever for stuff like that. I feel like that's where Sean Foley would have a good impact. I hope that he can remain on this team. Like, I'm sending down Jacob Barnes or DFAing him because he doesn't have any minor league options before I am sending down Sean Foley. I wanted this guy on the team all season. He finally got called up, pitched well. I want to see more of him. Let's see what else we have. Glad the Mets won today. Last year team won this game. That's a good point, Brandon. There have been a good amount of games this year, like the Sunday game last week against Colorado, where there were plenty of games where the Mets have won this year, and I've said they wouldn't have won that game last year because it was something that Mccann did or something that Stroman did or, one of the new additions, or Taijuan Walker pitching great like he did today and Miguel Castro pitching much better. It's little things like that where the Mets win these games that they don't win last year. Let's see. The Nationals hit the ball so hard today. What a way to lose. The Nationals hit the ball so hard that I'm concerned about Walker now. I can almost guarantee his FIP is pretty high right now. It was in the past. Like, that's been the story on Taijuan Walker. He gets hit hard and things like that. But you know what? Honestly, as someone who's not a big analytics person, ERA is more important to me than FIP. I will take the guy that has the 2.14 ERA with the high FIP compared to the guy with the high ERA and the low FIP. You know what I mean? So I'll take Taijuan Walker in his first few starts having a 2.14 ERA. I think that is very encouraging to me. I do want to talk about Taijuan Walker on Wednesday because I haven't really got to talk about that yet. He lost his command, no question about it. He was walking. Was it Wednesday or Tuesday? I confuse all the games at this point. Maybe I don't remember what game it was, but with a game against the Cubs where Taijuan Walker walked a bunch of guys, it was clear that he lost his command, and Rojas really took way too long to take him out of the game. He should have took Walker out earlier. He was blaming it on the umpire and things like that. So other than that, Walker has been really good. Hayden, you just made an Alonso home run derby video. Let me know. Okay, I'll check that out later. Diaz was electric this year. Yeah, I mean, Diaz has been pretty good so far. I mean, he did good on Thursday, and then they made him go 2 innings with the stupid runner on base rule. That's not what he does. Like Walker over Bauer. Bauer got school back. Yeah, I mean, Tatis, it was extremely exciting last night. I saw the home runs. The way he, not only did he show off to Bauer, but then the interaction on Twitter where, he talks about Tatis's dad, and then Tatis posts the Photoshop holding the little Bauer. Bauer didn't even have a response to that. I mean, that's how you know. Then he got schooled not only on the mound, but on Twitter as well. Definitely is a bad look for Trevor Bauer. I mean, all in all, he pitched pretty good, Bauer. But listen, I'll tell you what, the good thing is that, we got Taijuan Walker, who is a very positive impact on the team. We don't have to worry about, guys showing him up or things on Twitter or whatever. And the fact that you're not paying $40 million for Bauer, you're only paying, was it $12 million for Taijuan Walker? I think it's really good that, if the Mets did sign Bauer, they probably would have gone over the tax. So the fact that you were able to get under the tax, get Walker, you're not going to pay a repeater penalty, because once Robinson Cano's contract comes back, if let's say that Conforto somehow just goes absolutely crazy, has an amazing year, and they re-sign him, if they re-sign Syndergaard, maybe even Stroman, whatever happens in the offseason, if the Mets were to go for the tax this next offseason, at least it won't be a repeater penalty. Whole new CBA, all that stuff we talked about before. Yeah, Bauer was salty for sure. Tom's a great pitcher. I am too. I mean, Vincent, what is up, my man? But you guys know I wanted Walker pretty much the entire offseason. It took a while to get him. Had to wait until spring training to do it. But I'm glad they finally gave in, made it happen on a reasonable contract too. I mean, not only did we get Walker, but we didn't give him something crazy that we're going to regret down the line. We didn't give him a 5-year deal. What are we going to do with Cano next year? I have no idea. I was kind of thinking about it a little bit. I was thinking, the DH is probably going to be back next year. Could you DH Cano? Could you move somebody around, something like that? Do you just cut him and just take the loss, Bobby Bonilla style, and just have to pay the guy to go away? It's going to be tough. I mean, we'll see how the year goes for Mcneil, how the year goes for J.D. Davis. Do the Mets look at third base in the offseason? Do you look at maybe converting a shortstop over to third base? I mean, who knows what they're going to do. Long time to watch, Jose. Listen, I was going to make a stream on Friday, but I got the vaccine on Friday. Friday night, I was exhausted. Saturday, I was like laying down all day. So I couldn't stream Friday. I was going to, but I just did not feel well at all. But I'm much better today. Bryce has 2 home runs and an outfield assist, and it's only the 4th inning. Wow, how about that? Bryce Harper making it happen. The $300 million man for the Phillies, who are, I mean, this division is really tough right now. Everybody is battling it out. Going up against the Colorado Rockies in Coors Field, but it looks like the Phillies are in some trouble right now. Rockies got runners at the corners. Could something happen right here for no, the pitcher's up. Never mind. Nothing's going to happen. Maybe they'll release him or pay him off. I mean, that might be what they have to do, because it's one thing to pay Cano a lot of money, but it's another thing if Cano is taking away playing times from your young guys like Mcneil, like J.D. Davis. I mean, where else are you really going to put him? And ideally, you would like to get a true center fielder sometime soon. Move Nimmo over, DH Dom or Pete Alonso. And again, Cano might just have to see you later. I just don't think he fits with this team. He's not a Sandy guy. No way John Gray got a hit. Oh, my God. How about that? The pitcher getting the hit against the Phillies. Well, listen, Vincent, at least your team didn't walk the pitcher like the way the Mets love to walk pitchers. I don't know what the heck is going on. This has been today, again, how many times are the Mets going to walk pitchers? I mean, this is driving me nuts, whether it's 2 outs, whether it's nobody out. I mean, Taijuan Walker, he pitched great today. Don't get me wrong. He walked Corbin on 4 pitches today. How does that even happen? I mean, I just don't understand it. The Mets are really I know Rojas isn't going to do anything. I know Rojas is going to be like, guys, this can't happen. Come on. I'm going to get rid of all of you. I'm going to bench you, whatever, just really show some emotion about walking pitchers. But he's just going to be like, oh, no big deal. You want to walk pitcher? Go ahead and walk pitcher. DH Dom, not Pete. P has been great at first, and Cleveland wants to play there. Yeah, that's been a storyline for sure. P. Alonso's defense at first base has been so much improved. He's getting really good at that diving play, I guess, to the right. I think it's to the right. Like he did at the end of the game, where that was a ground ball to the first base side that with Diaz. Alonso just made the diving snag, flipped it to Diaz, boom, ball game over. Alonso's been great at that. He's been pretty good at first throughout the entirety of the year. So I'm fine with letting him play at first base. I'm perfectly okay with that. Yankees have been so disappointing. I mean, yeah, the Yankees lost today after they had won the first few games of that Cleveland series, and they've had a rough year. It still is early. I think the Yankees will figure it out all in all, but they have not had a good year. Will Aaron Nola and Vince Velasquez get hits in the series? So, I mean, yeah, it's Coors Field, so everybody's going to get hits. And Nola and Velasquez are good athletes. So is John Gray. So, I mean, all these pitchers are going to get hits, but I'd much rather have the pitcher get a hit against me than walk them. I mean, I'll take my chances that the pitcher gets a hit. And as far as Khalil Lee could be the center field next year, it all depends on his bat, because we saw in spring training that Khalil Lee's bat is just not major league ready quite yet. Could it be by next year, Jose? Maybe. But, I mean, let's just say that in this minor league season, if Khalil Lee's bat doesn't show any signs of improvement and we know that the DH is going to be back, I want to try to do something for center field. That would be so nice to see, whether it is via trade, whether it is a free agent. I know the outfield market isn't great next year, but, I mean, I don't want it to be Kevin Pillar. I mean, like, I didn't mind getting Pillar all that much because it wasn't that much money. But the fact that this could turn to a multi-year deal, that concerns me. I don't know if I really want Pillar here next year. I mean, that's one guy who so far has not been as what I expected. He had a good spring training, but Kevin Pillar's bat has been awful, which cannot happen. I mean, he's here to be a guy off the bench that can give you some hits, make some starts against a lefty, a good right-handed bat. He has not been it. Because the Phillies have a better ballpark than the Mets. I mean, a more hitter-friendly ballpark. You got that part right. I don't know about a better ballpark per se, because a guy misses his bank. I don't love it. Why do I love it when the Mets play in Philly? Because, like I said, it's Citizens Bank Park. It's a batters friendly park. I mean, you can hit a little fly ball, all of a sudden it's a home run, but in Citi Field, that's a fly out. Citi Field is the best ballpark. I like Shea Stadium better, but, I mean, Citi Field is not too bad. But what I do like is that I hope that, when I go to a game, later this year over the summer, I hope that when Diaz comes in, I can just hear those trumpets in person and see everybody, getting down and doing some imaginary trumpets and people dancing in the crowd. Because I got to say, when those trumpets get playing and Diaz comes out, it is pretty exciting. If DH is back, center field is a lesser problem. I would not be surprised if Conforto is traded at the deadline. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they want to keep Conforto since, it's a Sandy guy. He was the captain of the team last year. I understand why they want to keep him, but he's been disappointing so far. I mean, there's still a lot of season to go. Conforto, he's been streaky in the past. So I really hope that he gets it going soon. I mean, really soon would be nice. I know he got a couple hits here or there, but I don't know. I just feel like for the most part, when there's a runner in scoring position, Conforto's not getting the hit. I mean, even the hit he got today, the runner wasn't in scoring position. I say that kind of joking. But yeah, I don't think they will be trading him. Who will be booed by the Mets? Probably Acuna and Freeman and Bauer and Real Muto and all those guys. What happened now, Vincent? Are the Fine Phils in some trouble in Colorado? What happened, Vincent? Because my phone didn't update quite yet. It just says that Raimel Tapia is up. Did Tapia do to you guys what he did to DeGrom? No, just a single. That's okay, Vincent. It's quite all right. You're still in Colorado. A lot of runs can still be scored in this game. But listen, at least they got this series win after that sweep against Chicago. I mean, really needed to bounce back here. We were at home, so that was good to see. But the offense still has not really gotten going all the way yet. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, even though the Mets got these couple of victories, DeGrom was amazing on Friday, and, Taijuan Walker was really, really good on Sunday. And let's say the umpire had given Mcneil that call with the walk. Maybe Alonso does something bigger after that. Maybe J.D. Davis does something big after that. They probably went to Austin Voth by then, which is pretty disappointing that, the Mets, they did so well against Patrick Corbin. Then once Austin Voth came in the game, I mean, they couldn't touch this guy. He pitched, 3 scoreless innings, only gave him 1 hit. And then Francisco Lindor getting thrown at home plate where that was a terrible slide. So, I mean, the Mets offense could have been a little better today, but I think that when you saw how bad it was yesterday, we really don't want to know. No, Vincent, don't. I'm not even going to read what you said because I'm just not going to say. Those words are not coming out of my mouth. If Conforto is not signed, you're better pulling your trading, getting something back. I agree with that premise, Jose. I do agree. You don't want to, let him walk and have him come back for nothing. But I just think that it's like it depends what we're trading him for. You know what I mean? Like if we could get a center fielder of the – well, I won't say center fielder of the future because Pico Armstrong could be that guy. But I don't know. If we get something really, really good for Conforto, I would consider the trade for sure because, like I said, if you're not going to re-sign him anyway, what does concern me is that with Boris as his client and the corner outfield market not that great next year, Michael Conforto could get a big payday. I have to be honest, like, I'm not giving him that much. Like, if it's me, I'm not giving Conforto that much money. I'm really not. Like, Conforto is a solid player. He's not a great player, though. He's not that good to where you give him just an insane 8-year, $200 million plus contract. I would not do that for Conforto. He is way too inconsistent for me. That's just me personally. But who knows? Again, it still is so early. Conforto's a second half guy. I mean, it won't surprise me if in September Conforto drives in 20 runs, hits 10 home runs in September, like he always does in September. So, and then all in all, that'll give him a good year at the end of the year. He'll finish the season with good numbers, but I don't know. Yeah, I did see that report. Let's talk about that, Vincent. I just got this report 2 minutes ago on my phone. Teams very briefly, the Angels and Yankees discussed a possible deal involving Aaron Judge this past offseason, but nothing advanced. That is very, very interesting. I mean, we were just talking about Michael Conforto being like maybe a captain of the team, being somebody that is a sandy guy. You want to keep him no matter how they're doing. I feel like Aaron Judge is that way for the Yankees. I would say that Judge is probably the captain for the Yankees as a guy who's really the face of the team in my eye. So would you want to trade away the face of the team to the Angels? What? That, like, I don't know. I mean, who tweeted that out? Who said ESPN? Wow. Was it Passan? Wow. Whoever said that, I mean, that really, really does surprise. I want to see exactly who it was that said that report. Because, I mean, I really can't believe that the Angels would – and something so recent like this past offseason, I mean, does Aaron Judge know that? Because if I'm Judge, I'm like, really, the Yankees – I'm like the face of the team. The Yankees are looking to get rid of me? I mean, that really would be a very bad look. So I just want to real quick look at Jeff Passan's Twitter. And while I'm looking, if you guys have not hit the like button, I mean, please. That would be nice. But I just want to see who was the one that tweeted out that story about Judge, because that really would be wild. All right, so it wasn't Passan, but it came from ESPN. I don't know who. Maybe ESPN is trying to get clicks. I don't know. They'll probably get Trout. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, maybe the Yankees asked for Trout, but, I mean, Aaron Judge for Trout, it's not a favorable trade. I mean, like, I'll take Trout. You could keep Judge. I mean, Judge is – I don't even want Judge on the Mets. Like, he's too strikeout prone for me. He's too hurt for me. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about Conforto being inconsistent. Judge is very inconsistent as well. And I think that if you put Aaron Judge in a ballpark that is not Yankee Stadium, he's not the same player. I mean, because he gets plenty of lucky opposite field home runs in Yankee Stadium. So I don't think Judge is all that great. By the way, Dodgers, Padres, much watch TV. It really is, Jose. I totally agree. I was watching the game late last night. It was, 12 something, whatever. I'm watching the game. I'm watching Kenley Jansen asking to have the bottom of his cleats cleaned off. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And I'll tell you what, I'm watching tonight. So, I mean, that definitely – and I hope that they get another playoff matchup because those games are must-watch TV. I'm glad it was on LB Network yesterday. And I don't know if I'll watch it with volume tonight. I might, Sunday Night Baseball. That's never fun. But at least it is going to be such a good game with the Padres and Dodgers. You got a little bit of the Twitter rivalry going on. Could Tatis hit 2 home runs again? Or did it to Kershaw? Did it to Bauer? So it's going to be pretty exciting. Aaron Judge and Alex Cobb for Trout. I don't know, man. I would not do that deal. Did Passan say that? I don't see Passan. Where do you guys see Jeff Passan? I just looked at his Twitter. I don't see anything about Aaron Judge. No, I don't see it. But whatever. It's all good. You'd give the farm for Trout. I mean, we all would. I mean, who wouldn't want Mike Trout? He does have a pretty crazy contract, so you never know how those contracts are going to, pay off 10+ years down the road. But Trout is a very, very good baseball player. But it shows you, where the Yankees are at right now. I think that following this season, when the Yankees have another early playoff exit, they don't win the World Series, they're going to have to do something big because it is clear that this approach that they've gone with this all, right-handed team that strikes out too much, it doesn't work. Eventually, they have got to come to their senses on that, but we'll see. At least with the Mets, we don't know quite yet. I mean, like, once this team gets fully healthy, we talk about with Syndergaard coming back, Carrasco coming back, Lugo coming back. I mean, this could be a pretty different team we're looking at. If this offense gets rolling, and I imagine it should at some point, but when it does, this team is going to be pretty good. I don't want to go out the way. I don't want to look like an idiot and then the Mets play like crap and I feel dumb. But this Mets team, it could be pretty good. And I really hope that's the case, that they are good. And it would just be a nice, encouraging thing to see. I don't want to see the Mets miss the playoffs again. I want to see them win the division, and then let's see what happens. Okay. Torres needs to be traded. I mean, yeah, Glaber's been kind of weird for sure. He's had an interesting year. He's not a great shortstop. He belongs at second base. If you're the Mets, would you rather have Pete Alonso or Aaron Nola? I'd rather have Alonso, Vincent, only because since the Mets have DeGrom, they have Taiwan Walker, they have Stroman, and like I said, we have Syndergaard coming back, you have Carrasco coming back. I feel like the Mets are covered in the rotation, but the Mets do not have another guy like Alonso who could just hit 40 home runs in his sleep. I mean, Lindor can give you 30 home runs, but no one just gives you an easy 40 with just crazy power that is just such a guy that when he steps up to the plate, if you're a pitcher and you see Pete Alonso, you're afraid. Like, you don't want to give him anything to hit because you know, boom, that's a home run. A very good chance. And what I've liked about Pete Alonso is that he drew 2 walks today. And I feel like for the most part, his chasing has come down. He's not, swinging at everything. He's not losing his balance. There were 2 things about Alonso. Number one was that Pete Alonso, far too often, he was swinging at pitches out of the striking zone. Then the other thing he did was he also took bad swings. It wasn't like he took a nice level cut at a bad pitch, but too many times he was just swinging at craziness. Nola is good, like 6 runs yesterday for Stroman. Yeah, what about Stroman's other 3 starts before that? How did he pitch? Was he okay? I mean, has Nola ever had a bad start in his career? I remember the Mets kicking his butt last year in his start. But, I mean, whatever. What do I know? Everybody's going to have a bad start. It happens to all of the pitchers. So I think for the most part, Stroman has been pretty good. And, again, I think that the Mets, they have a much stronger rotation than they do first base, especially with Dom Smith having to play left field. I think the Mets, if they were offered Aaron Nola for Pete Alonso, I don't think they'd do it either. I don't think that the Phillies would do that as well. I think that it's not really a realistic thing to begin with. Neither team is doing that trade. I'm just saying because you could trade Alonso for Hader and move Nimmo to left. Well, Vincent, after what happened with Cano and Diaz, I'm never trading a big-time player for a reliever. So if I'm trading Alonso, I need something better than Josh Hader. Did Trevor Story just hit a grand slam, everybody? Are you guys lying to me? Are you trolling me? Did that really just happen? Trevor Story homers to left field. Garrett Hampson scores. Raimel Tapia scores. John Gray scores. Oh, baby. So how about that? The 2-out base hit by John Gray that extended the inning for the Colorado Rockies led to a grand slam. Holy moly. How about that? Phillies are in some trouble now. 7-2 Colorado. The New York Mets could be at first place by the time the day is over once again. Oh, no, Philadelphia. Say it ain't so. Oh, man, that's rough. I really have Nola because Dom falls in his first spot. Nimmo goes to left. Nola would be our 4th, 5th star. That's crazy. That's Dodgers territory. It would, but then who's in center field, Jose? Because you still have someone else that needs to fill in. So we would still need another guy. You were listening to trades for Dom. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, because the thing is that, like I said, Alonso has such unworldly power. Like, there aren't a lot of Alonsos out there, I feel like. Dom's, maybe you could find another Dom Smith, but that just element of fear he strikes in pitchers, that's something that really should not go unnoticed. Because the thing, if Alonso is rolling, not only does he give you production, but Alonso makes the guy in front of him better because you don't want to give that guy – you want to make sure you attack that hitter because you don't want to walk him and face Alonso have a 2-run homer or more. And then it makes the hitter behind Alonso better because that guy gets more opportunities with a runner on base if they're going to walk Pete Alonso. So, yeah, well, Nola would be the number 2 starter. Yeah, he would. I agree. Aaron Nola would be the number 2 starter on the team. Jared Kelly needs to be out of the Mariners ASAP. Hopefully soon they can get that done. Syndergaard better than Nola? No, I don't think so. Nola's too inconsistent. I mean, like, Nola could be dominant, but not as often as Nola is. It's been too long since Syndergaard has been that good. I mean, the last time that Nola was really good was, 2018? That's the last time that happened. So I don't agree with that. I mean, Nola's a really good pitcher. And again, like, it's not even really worth having a discussion because the Phillies are not getting rid of him. Like, the Phillies need Aaron Nola. Like, they need Aaron Nola. So that trade is just not going to happen. But who knows? I mean, listen, if the Yankees would talk to the Angels about Aaron Judge, I don't know. I mean, I guess anything is possible really when it comes down to trades. But I really just – and the other thing too is, like, even if the Phillies were to somehow some crazy other, Marvel Ultimate other universe, the Phillies trade Nola, it's not going to be to the Mets. So it's just like for multiple reasons, just no. Yeah, no Dom trade unless you get yourself here. Exactly. I mean, like, Dom is not a luxury. Like, Dom is not an extra. Dom is a part of this team. So if you're going to get rid of Dom, you need a Dom replacement plus something else, I feel like. So I agree, Andre. That's not really the ideal move. Did you see that MLB trade rumors had what, Orioles? The Judge one, we just talked about the Judge thing. But yeah, we wanted to get started Philly because the other thing too is that, like, I like Pico Armstrong, but I say that looking at the way Khalil Lee, his bat didn't look good in spring training. Pico Armstrong, he's still very young, but if Pico Armstrong's bat isn't major league ready, we still don't have a center fielder of the future. So I mean, that's something that, like, I know, I forget who it was on Mets Weekly. Someone brought up Byron Buxton, and it would take a big haul to get Byron Buxton, but he's a guy that would be on my list for sure. Somebody I'd really be looking at. That's a guy who has really good power, really good glove, really good speed. I mean, right-handed. Buxton would be such a great fit for this team. I know the Twins probably don't want to trade him. It would cost a whole lot to get him, but something I like to consider for sure. P. Alonso throwing alley-oops to Stroman, DeGrom, and Diaz this season. He is, but you know what, Thomas? At least he's, like, getting there. At least he's making the play. Maybe that's something he has to work on. Maybe Alonso should kind of, like, sire him those plays on the ground. But that is true. Like, DeGrom have to do a big jump onto first. The same goes for Diaz today. Diaz had to jump over to make the play. He can't do it to Stroman because Stroman probably can't catch because he's too short. And that's not a short joke at Stroman because I'm even shorter than Marcus Stroman. So I know I couldn't catch it either. I'm just messing around, just having fun. But you see that MLB Trades had Jason. Oh, okay. Oh, this was the trade. Orioles. All right, let me see. MLB Trade Rumors had Jason Dominguez. Wow. Austin Martin and Joe Adell as possible realistic terms for Scherzer in a trade. Us Met fans scripted. Oh, so this was for the Nationals. Okay. So Jason Dominguez, Austin Martin, and Joe Adell for oh, well, those are all different trades. Like Dominguez with the Yankees. I mean, like, that's interesting. Would the Yankees consider that? Do you guys think that the Yankees would consider Dominguez for Scherzer? Because I think that looking at the way Taijuan Walker has pitched. I mean, I'm sorry, what the hell am I saying? Jameson Taillon. The way Jameson Taillon has pitched for the Yankees this season so far has not lived up to the hype. He has not been great. He's been kind of mediocre. And kind of mediocre is not going to get it, not win you a World Series for the Yankees. They need another upper echelon pitcher. And Max Scherzer is upper echelon. Like, he could be that number 2 or number 1 Garrett Cole, whatever you want to say. Could be that other big-time pitcher for the Yankees other than Garrett Cole that could get them to the World Series. So, I mean, would the Yankees be willing to part with Jason Dominguez, a guy who's supposed to be like, the second coming of Jesus on the baseball field, and he's supposed to be this amazing, amazing player? Would the Yankees be willing to get rid of that kind of future impact player, all the tickets he could sell for years to come and merchandise and Yankees this and Yankees that? Would you be willing to give it all up in exchange for Max Scherzer? That is such an interesting question to think about. Stroman or Wheeler? Wheeler had a 2.71 ERA last year. I like Wheeler. I don't know. I like Wheeler. I do like Wheeler. But that's just me. Maybe it's the personality. Maybe it's the Carlos Beltran being traded for Wheeler and my love for Beltran. I don't know. I just like Wheeler. I really, really do. Stroman, his mental makeup, it worries me. I like Zach Wheeler. I do. Yeah, but the Yankees don't go for the luxury tax. I agree, Vincent, but I think that it's kind of getting to a point now where it's like eventually, like I'm saying, when as of right, the way the Yankees are currently constructed, they're not winning. With the expectation that this team has had for years and the money that they're paying Garrett Cole, the money that they're paying Giancarlo Stanton, eventually the Yankees, they have, the way the Brooklyn Nets, I have to bring it to basketball to prove my point. The Brooklyn Nets sold their soul in order to make a run for the championship. They got rid of all the young pieces. They paid whatever it took to really make a championship caliber team. Are the Yankees willing to take that same risk? That's the question. Like, you want to win a World Series. How bad do you want it? Are you willing to trade away your future in Jason Dominguez to get Max Scherzer and just go for it now? Just try to win it all this year. That's a question that, maybe not every team is willing to do that. So let's see. Max Scherzer plus 100% of contract paid for Dominguez and Miguel Andujar. Andujar, he's such an interesting guy. I mean, what is he right now? Like, we don't even know. The Yankees, he's had his injuries. He hasn't really gotten many playing opportunities with Gio Urshela being so good. He's been such a weird player. I mean, and Carter Kieboom so far has not lived up to the hype for the Washington Nationals at third base for them. So it would be really interesting. I do want to take a look at those Max Scherzer trade packages because I know they made the story. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I'm going to have to check it out to see what these things say. I think they're all a pretty big price to pay for half a year Scherzer, but a team as desperate as the Yankees, I think they would accept that. I mean, yeah, I think that when it comes down to, like, by the time the trade deadline is here and the Yankees are not playing up to par, I mean, I don't know. Like, let's just say this. I mean, if you're the Yankees, would you just be more willing to get Scherzer in the offseason? I mean, because isn't he only last year of his deal? So, I mean, would the Yankees like to keep Jason Dominguez, played after this year, probably not going to win, then sign Scherzer next year, still have Dominguez for the future? I just don't think you could trade that guy away. The hype has been first of all, I think that the hype for Jason Dominguez has been unfair to that kid. I think that being in New York for the Yankees with all that pressure, that's going to be tough for him. Like, he's probably really, really talented, but it's going to be hard for him. But it would just be tough for either side. I don't know if you know who this is. I do know that I know who that is. But what did he do, Vincent? I'm not aware of what he did, but I do know him as a passionate Eagles fan. Let's say we put a package of Peterson, Stroman, Davis for Scherzer. It's interesting. It's interesting, but I don't know. I don't think Scherzer's the guy I want to go all out for. Like, I think that for the Mets, when they make it, I won't say when, but if the Mets make the playoffs, I don't think that what's going to cost them from going to the next round is going to be a starting rotation. I feel like it's going to be defense. It's going to be I don't know, maybe third base, or it's going to, which probably still relies on defense. Maybe the bullpen. Maybe not hang with runners on base. Like, I don't think it's going to be like, oh, well, if the Mets had Max Scherzer, they would have made it to the next round. I don't think that's what it's going to come down to for the Mets. So I wouldn't trade away Peterson, trade away Stroman, trade away JD Davis. Like, I don't think that's what would get the Mets over the top. I mean, that's just me, though. Read the article. I'd have to find it. I don't know where it is. I don't want to just go searching for an article while on stream. It would not be good broadcasting. Is that a joke? Is what a joke is in reference to what? Mad Max is not going to decision rival. Does Scherzer have a no trade clause in his contract? I mean, because that's something they haven't really talked about since he's been such a linchpin for the Nationals, that not someone you really hear in the trade market that much. I have to find out what be trade rumors article. Oh, yeah. I gotta find it. He got cabinet boost with 13 notes. Oh, I didn't know that, Vincent. I mean, that's unfortunate. The internet, it's a tough place. I mean, things like that happen to people. I mean, that's terrible. It really is. But Scherzer has no trade clause. Do you think Scherzer would turn that down, though? You don't think that? We're talking about we're talking about the Mets. Yeah, so Scherzer would not accept the trade to the Mets. He'd be more willing to accept the trade to the Yankees. Yeah, no, I think that's possible. I do. Are Max Scherzer open to a potential trade? 3 potential landing spots. No, it's not it. I don't even know. There's a bunch of articles about Scherzer possibly being traded. I don't even know which ones trade rumors. I see Fansided. I see Bleacher Report. I see Sports Now. I don't even know what the heck that is. So we'll see. The thing with the Nats is that they don't need to trade Scherzer. So if you want him, you're going to have to pay the price, unlike the Indians where they wanted to trade Lindor and Clev. That's true, Orioles, but I think that starting pitching is so important, generally speaking, that maybe some team does get desperate and offers you a crazy package for Scherzer, so you want to take advantage of that. Like, if the Nationals, let's say that come trade deadline time, Nationals are doing really bad. They're contenders that really want starting pitching, and you see all these articles about Scherzer potentially being on the move. I think it's something you have to be considerate of. I think it's something you do have to consider, but you are right that there is not as much of a need like the way it was for Cleveland with Lindor, the way it was with Colorado for Arenado. It's not the same instance. What would you put in a trade for Bryant? Oh, Chris Bryant, another one of those. God, I don't know. I think it would have to be probably JD Davis. I'd imagine would have to go just because they both play third base. God, I don't know. I really don't at this point because, like, I want to say put in a Beatty or put in a Vientos or whatever, but not for the 1 year. I don't like. I'd rather go after Chapman. You know what I mean? Like, I would really rather go after Matt Chapman. Then I'd put in a pretty crazy package. I know his offense hasn't been good this year. Slow start. Blah blah blah. Matt Chapman good homers. He's amazing defensively. I just really like Matt Chapman. He's young. He's not on the last year of his contract like Chris Bryant is. Dom and David Pearson for Bryant? No, because that doesn't solve the thing. Like, if you trade away Dom Smith for Chris Bryant, you have a hole in left field, and you just lost. Like, your lineup doesn't get that much better if you're exchanging Chris Bryant with Dom. It's not that much of an upgrade. David Peterson, he could be in the trade, but I don't know. The thing is that with Stroman being on the last year of his deal, with Syndergaard being on the last year of his deal, maybe I want David Pearson in my rotation next year, because I do have to be concerned about the future. Like, I don't know if Chris Bryant, like I said, I talked about, what could be the thing that would cause the Mets from advancing to the next round of the playoffs. Could Chris Bryant be that guy that gets you to the next round of the postseason? Maybe. I think it's possible. At the trade deadline, could you see us going for a big bat? Andre, if the team continues to perform the way it has offensively and not get it done with runners on base, I guess so. I mean, I think it's something you might have to consider, because that's been the biggest problem for this team so far, has just been the inability to hit with guys with runners on base. It really has been the problem. Scherzer's openly said that he wants to win no matter what the team, but he also has a list of teams he won't accept under circumstances like Kansas City, Detroit, New York, and San Francisco. Well, okay, I'll tell you what. So Scherzer wants to win. He doesn't want to go to Kansas City and Detroit. So that makes sense. But he doesn't want to go to the Mets. I'm not sure why that is. Whatever. And he doesn't want to go to the Giants. That's a random team. Like, why not the Giants? I mean, I don't see what's wrong with the Giants. But okay. Cedric Mullins to the Mets. I mean, maybe he could. Let me arrange this. The Mets also get Ian Happ in the trade for center field. The Mets would add Vientos and Davis. So what would be the final trade? You're giving Dom, Peterson, Vientos, and JD for Chris Bryant and Ian Happ? Nah, not enough. I mean, yeah, Ian Happ has been off to a slow start. He is a switch hitter. He's not an amazing center field. Like, Ian Happ is not the center fielder of the future. He just kind of plays center field because he does. Who would be a big bat you could see the Mets going after? God, I think it'd probably be one of those third basemen. Like, I feel like it would have to be a Chris Bryant. It would have to be the Eugenio Suarez, who also is off to a slow start with the batting average. Maybe the Matt Chapman, who's off to a slow start with the batting average. But that's probably where they'd have to be looking, because you're not going to get a shortstop. I mean, do you want to do the Andrew, like, make a trade for Carlos Correa and move him to third base? It's risky. I mean, like, Carlos Correa, he did do it for the WBC, playing third base. But it is a risk anytime you're taking a guy away from his natural position. The Mets are already doing that in two places in the field already. Brandon Nimmo is not a natural center fielder. Donald Smith is not a natural left fielder. Do you want to do that at third base as well? I don't know if I'd want to do that. Ian Happ is good, Jonathan. Ian Happ he's not that good. I don't think Ian Happ's that great. I hope we could get both games from the Sox. It's funny we get 2 more days off. I know, David. I don't understand what that is. Why off day on Monday and Thursday? I don't know who made up the schedule, but whoever did a terrible job for the Mets. You put them in Colorado and Chicago in April, which was stupid. Then you gave them no off days this week, but you gave them off day Monday and Thursday. Why would you need an off day after 2 games? Like, no sense at all. Just 0 sense. So whoever did the scheduling and they look at the Mets part of it, Mets got screwed in their April schedule. It's god awful. All right, here we go. Stephen A., what is up? LFGM, this is what I'm talking about. I knew our Mets would win the series 2 out of 3. And how about the dominating performance of DeGrom, the DeGrom era on Friday? Who want that smoke? I mean, yeah, DeGrom was just so great Friday. I feel like DeGrom, his performance Friday, it's hard to put it into words. Like, it was that good. I mean, you go the 9 innings, strike out everybody, retire the last however many guys in a row, get hits, get RBI hits, running around the bases, fielding your position. DeGrom literally couldn't do more. I tweeted this, but in MLB The Show, you could have DeGrom has a 99 rating. I think it should be 100. I know 100 players don't exist. Like, that's not a thing in the game. But for DeGrom, it should. Like, he's literally that good. It's crazy. Like, his ERA is 0.31, something like that. I mean, oh my God. Just so ridiculous. He's such a good pitcher. I do love me some DeGrom. Could Castro be an all-star? It's going to be hard, Z. I mean, in general, like, relievers making the all-star team, it's pretty tough to do. And if you're not a closer, it's all the much harder. Like, Castro's ERA would have to be under 2, low. It'd have to be, like, in the 1s to get him on the all-star team. He's pitching very well. I don't know if he could be an all-star, though. Oh, the article. You have the article. Thank you, Orioles. Let me try to see if I could pull that up. I don't even know if I can. Can I do that? I'm gonna hop into my own live stream as me to see if I could pull up your article. Let me see if I can make that happen. Where is the live chat? What else do we have? Could you see JD at DH for the Mets with or without Dom? it all depends on who you get at third base, because like you could put JD at DH, which would be great because we like JD the hitter, we don't like JD the fielder. But oh, it's the Bleacher Report one. Okay, let me see if I can find the Bleacher Report one. Is it called ranking the top landing spots for Nationals? Ace Max Scherzer mid trade rumors. Is that what it's called? Because I could read that one. I have that one pulled up. Yeah, what a cash bound moron. DeGrom is not just good; he is beyond good. He is a great pitcher and baseball future Hall of Famer. Yeah, he's on the Hall of Fame track. I mean, as long as DeGrom keeps this up, not like the 0 ERA, but the Cy Young caliber years for the next few years. Because with the Hall of Fame, one of the most important things is how many years you do it. Like as long as you have however many years, there's not like an exact number, but you can't just have 3 or 4 great years. Like you need to have, I said close to 10. I feel like it's Hall of Fame caliber, close to 10 great years. So as long as DeGrom gets the years under his belt, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm really excited for that. As a Met too. Like it's nice to have another Met Hall of Famer because we don't have many. Expect Ian Happ to have 20 to 30 home runs and 800 OPS with 260 average. I mean, that would be pretty good. Still, I don't know. I mean, like, I think we'll see what happens trade deadline time, but I just don't know if I want to give up somebody like Beatty or Vientos to get Chris Bryant on the last year of the deal when the Mets already have so many other guys that they have to extend. Like, do you want another expiring contract in Chris Bryant? That's always such a tough ask. So I'm pulling up Ian Happ's numbers right now. And other than 2017, he's never had he had 15 home runs once. Other than that, you're looking at 11 home runs, 12 home runs, 260 average. And he does get the good OPS. I mean, he does do that. But the other thing, too, Vincent, is that it's not so much about, what Ian Happ does offensively. What's more important is what does Ian Happ do defensively? Is Ian Happ a great defensive center fielder? Is Ian Happ the guy that's like, oh, my gosh, he's so much better in center field than Brandon Nimmo? What a big upgrade for the Mets. I don't think of Ian Happ as that kind of guy. Maybe I could be wrong, but I just don't think Ian Happ is like, oh, my God, that center field of the future. The Mets finally have the long-term solution at center fielder. I just don't think Ian Happ is that guy. That's just me personally. I mean, and he's off to a really, really slow start. I mean, the Mets have had enough struggles offensively this year. They don't need to bring in a guy that's batting 161 with 1 home run. And I know it's early. It's early for all these guys, but I don't know. DeGrom, make it down. You heard it from this year, Tony, who won the Cy Young for the 3rd time. I said that too, Stephen A. I said that in my hot takes video. I don't remember when that was, but I agree. I think DeGrom is definitely going to win the Cy Young. Because I think that Jacob deGrom is a guy that what separates him from other pitchers, that pitchers will have great months. They'll have a month where they pitch under a 2 ERA, they get a ton of strikeouts, all that good stuff. But next month, they're kind of eh. DeGrom is great every single month. And I think that when it comes down to the 162, once everything bounces out, DeGrom is the guy on top. And that's why he'll win the Cy Young. In a short season, these guys were bound to have blow-up outings. And I think that when that does, and DeGrom doesn't have any blow-up outings, he would have passed them. I just think the 162, and DeGrom's on another level right now. He's pitching the best he ever has right now. And the thing that DeGrom is doing even better than normal is going deep into games. I mean, DeGrom, you can make the case he's could have pitched the whole game like every single start this year so far. I mean, he's been that good this year. So it's not just one thing to give me a great ERA, but you only went 5 innings. I need 4 innings out of my sketchy bullpen. The fact that DeGrom could go the whole game for me, rest my bullpen to save other games down for the rest of the week, you can't ask for more. It's all good. We share the same goal. Andrew McCutcheon did oopsie, 8-2 Rockies, not good. Okay, so let's read the Max Scherzer article, ranking the top landing spots for Max Scherzer. Ken Rosenthal, rumor, speculation, injury list, blah, 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 $35 million, no trade. Honorable mentions, the Houston Astros, Zach Greinke is getting old, Justin Verlander, Minnesota Twins. The Twins, they've had their struggles, blah, blah, blah. The Phillies are now under the leadership of Dombrowski, who is known for trading away prospects. He could be a spot. The Giants, they're in the list, but I mean, you guys said he doesn't like him on the no trade clause. The Mariners are pretty interesting for Max Scherzer because another side of DeGrom. I think so, Andre. I do think so for sure. The Mariners are interesting because they have a lot of young pieces. So if they wanted to go get Max Scherzer and go to the next level, they could do that. The Angels would be a really interesting fit for Max Scherzer. I can see that. The Blue Jays, that would be a good fit as well because the Blue Jays' middle part of the rotation has been so inconsistent. I mean, Matz has been really good. Hyun-Jin Ryu is good. But other than that, who knows what you get from the Blue Jays rotation. The Cardinals, the Cardinals rotation has not been great. They could use Max Scherzer. That would be another big trade. You got Arenado. Are you willing to swing for the fences twice and go for Scherzer? They're a good team. Red Sox, and the Red Sox lineup has been very good. The rotation has been kind of eh. Chris Sale is still out. So Max Scherzer for the Red Sox would be a good one. And then number one, the New York Yankees. Let's talk about that. Yankees have been a mess. Nothing else. Yankees bullpen has been great. Yankees should be worried about his rotation. Like the Red Sox, the Red Sox and Yankees are close to the luxury tax. Scherzer does have a big-time contract. They should be willing to go past the mark and perhaps even lose Dominguez in the process. If the Yankees do become interested in Scherzer, it wouldn't be for the first time. And for the offense, wow, that would be pretty crazy. It would be. All right, so let's continue. What else do we have? Bauer was lucky. He's absolute fraud. I was so happy what Tatis did to Bauer. Absolutely embarrassed him. Yeah, he embarrassed him on the field and off the field. It really was. It was so exciting. It was great. Hey, want to hear a joke? A Yankees fan said DeGrom was one of the best pitchers in baseball. Why is that a joke, Vince? The fact that a Yankees fan admitted it, I feel like, Garrett Cole is a tremendous pitcher. He's a top 5 pitcher. But I think we could agree that Garrett Cole is not better than Jacob DeGrom. I mean, he's just not. He really is not. And I think that what puts Jacob DeGrom over the top is that Garrett Cole puts together great strikeout numbers. But I think that when it comes to the Mets and being a National League team, the value of the way Jacob DeGrom gets his own run support, and he could run the bases and field his position so well and things like that. I mean, what more could you ask out of Jacob DeGrom? Like, Garrett Cole does not hit like DeGrom. He doesn't run like DeGrom. He doesn't field like DeGrom. Nothing like that. And Garrett Cole also does not have to deal with god-awful defense. Garrett Cole does not deal with guys dropping the ball and throwing the ball all over the field and terrible run support and bad bullpen. So if you were to – I don't say you want to do it, but if you gave Cole DeGrom's team, he could not be what DeGrom is. So, I mean, there's just so many reasons why DeGrom is the best. Bauer took on the chin. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was interesting that Bauer was so, okay with it. The fact that he was, I did get beat, and he took that approach. That was good to see. But then he did take to social media, so he kind of contradicted himself a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just glad that, the Padres won that game because the Dodgers, they've been off to a red-hot start this year, the best record in the league. So it was good to see Tatis get it done. And we'll see how it's tonight. I hope Tatis can do it again. Let's see. DeGrom's the best as a cheat. Rockies 9-2 in Phil bot fifth. Wow. I was watching Bauer. Move overtime. Jacob DeGrom is our home two-way player. I mean, what's his average? His average is 500, isn't it? I feel like Jacob DeGrom's average is 500 right now. It's crazy. Nemo should play more aggressive in center field. I remember during Chicago series, he played the ball in the hot they could have dove for, but they don't want to play center field that way. He did dive for that ball on Friday, though, Lab, and he missed it. So, I mean, the thing is that you have to play Nemo deeper in the outfield because we know he's better coming in than going back. So you make yourself susceptible to blue pits. Blue pits are going to happen probably a lot to the Mets this year, so it's going to happen. MLB Network. What about MLB Network? Should I put MLB Network on, Jonathan? The remote's over there, so it's probably not going to happen. Sorry. Don't worry, Bryce will hit 3 more home runs to give him 5. Well, at this rate, Bryce is going to need a lot of home runs. He's going to need to bat, and then when the next guys are, Bryce Harper's going to let me bat again so I can get us back on the board. Spencer Howard bounced back for McCutcheon's bad play. That's good. Have the Braves started their second game of the doubleheader yet? Has anyone been keeping an eye on that? Because I know when they showed it, the Braves were losing to the Diamondbacks in game 1. The Diamondbacks did a good job. Oh, again? No way. Diamondbacks. Whoa. Breaking news. Hold on a second, guys. Diamondbacks win game 1, 5-0. They're up 6-0 in game 2. What the heck is going on? And let me go get my Diamondbacks hat because thank you, Diamondbacks. You are saving us. Well, not saving us, but you're helping us out against the Atlanta Braves. Let's freaking go Diamondbacks. That's what's up right there. Okay. All right, Arizona. I see you. Wow, imagine being the Braves. How about that? The Bravos. And not only is it one thing to go with the 5-run, 6 runs, but the Braves offense doing nothing. Acuna out for the Braves. Soto out for the Nationals. And by the way, how about Yadiel Hernandez this weekend? Who needs Juan Soto if you have Yadiel Hernandez? What the heck was that? The guy was getting on base every time. Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks. Well, that made sense. And for the Braves, Wilson pitching. Yeah, I mean, listen, Gallen against Wilson, that's an unfair matchup. Then today, Bumgarner, oh my God, against Drew Smyly. I mean, listen, both of those matchups favor the Diamondbacks. I don't know about that much, 6-0, 5-0, but let's go Diamondbacks. We go. We are facing the Red Sox next. Looks like JD Martinez found a group. He did. JD Martinez obviously been an amazing hitter. Helped the Red Sox win the World Series. Was bad last year, but this year he's got it going. But the question for the Red Sox is that as well as JD Martinez is swinging the bat, no DH in Citi Field, are you going to live with his shortcomings out in left field and take that risk? You're probably going to have to because he is having that good of a season that you probably have to play JD Martinez regardless. So let's try to hit the ball to left field and see if we can get JD Martinez to maybe mess up a little bit. Yeah, let's freaking go Diamondbacks. That's the new hashtag, Z. LFGD. I like it, Z. I like it. NL East teams dealing with injuries. Let's take advantage. I agree, David. And we did so far, How crazy is it that we are going to go almost into May and we haven't seen the Braves once? I mean, like this scheduling, again, has just been so weird. I think this has been one of the more weirder April schedules. We don't see the Braves until May 17th. What the heck? Are you serious right now? I mean, yeah, think about it. We play Red Sox, Phillies, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Orioles, Rays, then the Braves. What the heck? I mean, we're not going to see the Braves for a while. Jeez Louise. Yeah, the Phillies have 5 injured players. I mean, yeah, injuries suck. I mean, the Mets have a few injuries too. I mean, they got a good amount. Syndergaard, Carrasco, Lugo, Drew Smith, and pretty much all the pitchers. They're all injured. Okay, what else do we have here? How many games are behind the league? What do you mean by that exactly, Andrew? Are you talking about like as far as games they have to make up, like because of COVID and rainouts and stuff like that? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. If you clarify, please. Stephen A. Yes, I agree on Conforto, and it was a pleasure, Frank. I just want to check in with you. New York Mets fan base. Okay, Elf, GM, and for skeptic Mets fans, please stop it. Stay off the ledge. No more ledges. All right, Stephen A. I hope you're right. Yeah, because I'll tell you, Stephen, the series against the Cubs was not pretty. So it was nice to get the bounce back, but let's do it against the Red Sox too, please. I mean, don't give me good series, bad series. Let's have a good series against Boston. Let's focus on that next. But thank you for checking in, Stephen A. I appreciate that. If you press the like button, that helps too. But thank you for checking in, Stephen A. I appreciate it. That's good. By then, we should have Cookie and Lugo back with Thor on the horizon. Yeah, that's a good point, David. Carrasco back for the Braves, Lugo back for the Braves. Let's make it happen. We better beat the Braves on my B-Day. Oh, well, no, I guess happy birthday to whenever that is in May, Jonathan. Extend Conforto before offseason, less money because of his slow start. It's interesting, Breen. You might be able to get a discount, which I feel like if you want to re-sign Michael Conforto, I would like to do it on a discount because, again, I don't think that Conforto is a good enough player to the point where it's like, you pay a crazy amount of money for. So, I don't know. The Cubs will sweep us again next time. And that's the thing. The Mets are not good against the Cubs. Like, they showed it. But the past few series against Chicago, especially in Wrigley is a tough ballpark for the Mets. Oh, my God. How many balls went off the top of the wall in freaking Wrigley Field? That place was so brutal to the Mets. But they just haven't played ball there. Other than that, playoffs in 2015, the Mets have not been good there. Bryce Harper again? No way. Bryce Harper going yard again. How about that? Bryce Harper trying to carry the Phillies on his back. Oh, Bryce Harper ground out. Vincent, why you got to troll? Come on, man. Wow, JK. Jeez. That's funny. Yes, but I got confidence, Frank. Stay positive, and I will press the like. That's what's up, Stephen A. Thank you. Diaz, agree. All right, Stephen A. Thank you very much. Let's go, Mets. I appreciate it. JK, I wish. Oh, Vincent, you had me fooled there. I thought maybe Bryce Harper was hot because you know what? Once a player gets hot and, 3 home runs in the game are possible. And, again, you're in Coors Field, so it definitely is possible. And the Phillies need it. How about JT Realmuto having a 290 average? That's piercing. 397 on base percentage. His speed looks good. Obviously, his defense is still really good. It's unfortunate, We'd like to have had Realmuto, but if he doesn't want us, can't do anything about it. We are not good with sweeping teams. It's tough to sweep teams, Jonathan. I mean, the Mets almost had the sweep against the Phillies, but then the game got rained out. So sweeping is just tough to do in general. But the main thing is just try to win series. Don't get swept. The fact that the Mets lost every game against the Cubs, that's unfortunate. I mean, they should have won the Thursday game. I think that with the David Pearson game, if J.D. Davis made those plays at third, they could have won it. But again, that's all ifs. How many times with the Mets have we said, if the defense, if the bullpen, if the run support, if human runs on base? There's so many ifs that come together, not only just in a baseball game, but with the Mets in general, that it happens. You're not going to win them all, but you don't want to get swept by the Cubs. And the Cubs were struggling. They did better against the Brewers, the day afterwards and things like that. But that was a bad series. At least they made up for against Washington. Now we focus on Boston. So if we don't have any other questions, then we could call it a day for now. I really appreciate everybody checking in, all the likes, all the support, all the comments and conversations. Definitely is a lot of fun. I hope to do one Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe if someone else is streaming, I'll probably join their stream sometime at night. But if you guys don't have any final questions before we head out, thank you everyone for watching, whether it was past, present, or future. And until the next one, what do we have? Red Sox, Royals, and Mariners in first, while Braves and Yankees taking up. Yes, but that's not surprising. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, that's not what we expected. We didn't expect, Red Sox, Royals, Mariners, Mets all in first place. I mean, that is a good point, David. Definitely been a bit of an unpredictable year, but random teams do get off to like good starts, and then they kind of fade off towards the end of the season. So we'll see how they all progress. You want Walker Buehler, Vincent? I'm sure every team wants Walker Buehler. I want Walker Buehler too, so join the club, Vincent. I agree with you. But, Walker Buehler's not going anywhere. The Dodgers are going to keep a really good young arm. Shy, I was just about to sign off, but you checked in. Yo, what's up, my man? Great game by Almora on the defensive side. Yeah, that was some catch. I mean, he covered a lot of ground because he was playing shallow, but just the fact that Almora jumped up and caught it, just the way he jumped and he held on to it, that was big. I mean, that really could have changed the game. First and third for the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay, Didi Gregorius with a single, JT Realmuto with a walk. Do you pull John Gray? Do you let John Gray keep going? That's going to be the question. Marlins Penn stinks. Are the Marlins messing up right now? Are they playing? I haven't checked on the Marlins. Yeah, the Marlins, they've had a rough series against the Giants. I mean, you got Campbell pitching. What the heck? Wow, Ross did while only going the 1 inning. Yeah, they went with a bit of an opener. How about that? Miami trying to be like another Florida team. The Giants I feel like they've kind of been sneaky good. I feel like the Giants have been giving the Marlins a pretty tough time. And just the rest of the division, I think the Giants played well against the Phillies too, Vince, if I'm not mistaken. And the Giants are not a team that I had that high of expectations for. But that definitely is pretty. Let me see the Giants. Yeah, the Giants are 13-8. They're 2 games behind the Dodgers. So San Francisco, they're better than the Padres right now. So they've definitely had a good year so far. But peace out, my man, Breen. Thanks for streaming. Thank you for checking in, Breen. I appreciate it. But, again, this division is just so tight, whether the Mets are in first, whether whoever's in last. They're separated by such a small amount. Everybody's going to beat up everybody. You know what I mean? The Phillies are going to beat the Mets. The Braves are going to beat the Nationals. Nationals are going to beat the Marlins. Marlins are going to beat the Braves. I mean, so much craziness is going to happen. You don't know what it's going to end up with. You just hope you're the guy standing on top. And I really hope that guy is the Mets. So, again, thank you so much, everybody. Love all you guys. Till the next one, be safe, be smart, be healthy. Let's go, Mets. Go beat the Sox.